What's up, everybody? We are Gears Connect. Just a few lads who got together, played Gears, and we just hung around ever since. D-Day beta dropped recently, and there's a lot to discuss. So this is a great opportunity for us to get to talk about it. And we thought we'd put it online and see if anyone's got any common sort of threads that we're talking about. So if you like it, leave a comment, leave a like, and yeah, let's get on with it.
And subscribe.
And subscribe.
So you're good at this sort of thing, Deep. You should make your own YouTube channel. I'm being serious.
There's a team.
I find it quite cringe when I do shit like that. Hi guys,
That is a little bit
Fribbo
cringe.
here. Nah, what you did was like in a professional manner.
Roll it
And
out.
action.
Okay. Action. First topic of discussion is Horde Siege, and we're going to go through the pros, cons, and ideas we could come up with that might make it a better experience. Starting with pros, would you like to start, Trap?
Yeah. I think the first thing on the list, right, is map size, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the map size is a massive positive for Horde Siege. Big map, loads of teams and stuff like that. So I don't think that can really be improved. I don't think it needs to be bigger. I think I'm quite happy with what we got.
Yeah, I think just adding on to that, I think it's plenty of space for more things to be coming into it, and I think we just want to be, we want to portion our expectations as a beta. We're not going to be expecting them to like open the floodgates of the beta, right? So I'm hoping there's more to come with Horde, but in terms of the size of the maps and the feeling it gave you, right, because it was such large scale, it did sort of feel like a bit of a war-torn area. And even though you did have to traverse over these areas and stuff, it just felt like a little bit like some like World War II pictures or like feelings when you're watching Band of Brothers and they're going for one of the towns and it's just like completely decimated. And I mean, it did really give that scale of scope. Yeah, I think any bigger or any smaller wouldn't really serve it. So yeah, map size was pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, it definitely passed the vibe check.
Yeah, it's definitely what we've needed in Gears in terms of like scaling for Horde, because it feels like usually with general Horde you just set up in one area and you don't get to explore the whole map, but this gives you an opportunity to explore everything and do other things in different places, and it definitely feels more of a war zone. So that's what I like about it.
And I think one of the not criticisms, but one of the well, maybe it was a criticism, was that having Horde on multiplayer maps didn't always necessarily work. I mean, I remember we used to play Gears 2 just all the time. It was the best map for Horde. So it's good to have a bit of a different approach to Horde.
It's dedicated, isn't it? It's actually built for Horde with Horde in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like with anything like that, with certain maps, like how we met on Foundation, it's literally because it was the easiest map to speedrun. Everyone would play that and not really play any other maps at the time, because you had to earn and grind to unlock character skins without paying them.
Yeah.
What did them packs, man? It was all about them packs.
That's what started my
What's the
YouTube
next
channel.
point?
Next point's encounters, so like random enemies just like spawning in, encountering other teams. I suppose that could go under assisting other teams, but you could just be running along with like just randomly cross the other squad, pass them, stop to help them. Enemies spawning in randomly in between missions. I like that because it doesn't make the map feel desolate.
Yeah, there were a few times when we were just running through and then an e-hole just popped up and I don't know if it was random or part of someone else's mission, but then I fell down it and then we ended up like getting into like someone else's fight. And then how many times was it? Where were you guys? Oh, we were at the tag. Because I'm thinking with another team. So it's
Yeah.
you do get moments like that which are quite quite funny.
It helps you get lost into it a bit as well.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah, I mean, it also kind of, I was gonna say, it kind of like backfires sometimes as well, don't it? Because you'll be somewhere doing like a side objective, and then it ends up like another team is doing their main objective. So there's like two waves basically
Yeah.
coming at you, and it gets a bit hectic. But I like that.
Once you climatize, because the first couple of days you are in a war zone, it is a bit overwhelming and you're trying to figure it out. But after playing the same map and after figuring out how it works and how enemies and how the side tasks work and where the enemies come from, you know then when you're going through the plaza, for example, oh, this team's on their final 3 ways, for example. Let's give them a quick hand while we're on the way to somewhere else. So it really does give you that sort of immersement in that side of thing, the encounters.
I think that's probably why as well people would like to see grenade tagging come back, because you can kind of like, you know, if you've got to leave a team, you can be like, well, I'm going to tag a couple of walls for them and then like we're going to head off out sort of thing. I think that'd be quite nice as well.
In Horde only, though.
Yeah, I can see why it's not a multiplayer thing, yeah. Then again, I mean, nade tagging is good for sliding, that's all I'm going to say.
That'd be pretty cinematic though. Sliding past someone and tagging them at the same time, that'd be pretty cool.
Oh no, I meant like you tag a wall, and if a wall comes sliding around the corner, he just gets blown up. Like, wasn't there a Gears game that had like trip mines or something as well?
Judgment.
Was it Judgment? You could like shoot the wall and it made like a laser and like
Yeah.
Those were pretty cool.
Next up, progression in terms of classes. Mainly.
Why don't you go first, Frib?
Well, I like that it wasn't like Gears 5 where there was too many classes towards the end where you've got too much to level up and upgrade, and obviously over time if you're doing it it's different, but if you just get into the game and say like you want to grind achievements, stuff like that, that's a different story. But it does seem a bit, what's the word, strenuous. But progression, from what it seems, weapon mods, armor mods, leveling up classes, different perks for classes, different abilities, I think that's a good sign, and it doesn't feel too over the top at the minute, but obviously we haven't seen the full story of it yet, because obviously it's just a beta.
Do you know if there are going to be any more classes coming in?
No, but I'm assuming since it's a 4-man squad, they won't introduce any more, but they could potentially, but who knows?
Yeah, because just talking about it now, I mean, it obviously they have scaled it back, and it is a much easier way to understand the progression, and it's very simplified. I mean, I definitely found it a little bit more user friendly and working down to like the different classes and what I thought my initial preferred class was. Like, I think I enjoyed being the brawler, but then it ended up being the medic at the end of it. It was like the best class I enjoyed being.
Yeah, he's got the mortar, ain't he?
That's why, yeah. But then obviously the carryover is, I mean, this is a pro and a con at the same time. Though you can carry your weapons over, right? So if you spec out your lancer, you got that spec out lancer on any class you got, and I don't know if that's a positive or a negative, but that also helped make the medic very popular. And towards the end of the hordes I was playing, it was just a team of medics.
No, the medic is definitely strong, but I think the carryover, by the way, that's actually a pro. That's definitely a pro, right? Because I think if you think about playing the game, right? Let's say you finally like maxed out your medic, right? And now you want to play a new class. You don't want to go back to having trash guns. Like you wanna keep at least decent guns. Fair enough, your class doesn't have all its perks, but like going back to
maybe a compromise is you can only use a perk on one class. So if you've got like the auxiliary bullets on your brawler class, you can't use that same perk on your medic class. You have to use a different perk, because then there's a lot of perks on there you just don't use otherwise.
So basically no overlapping. I get what you mean.
No overlapping on the perks, yeah.
Maybe, assign one at a time, but you might see that as being pretty pointless, because you could just change it if you change your class. Anyway,
sidetracking, yeah.
Side missions. Still in pros.
Yeah, they were good. I mean, you could argue they get repetitive, but everyone was playing the same map. for like 2 weeks, pretty well, 10 days, pretty much, right? Once how many days was it? 4, 8,
Yeah, about 4 or
yeah,
5 days
yeah, about 8, 9 days all
each
together
week.
with the early access because we all got the pre-orders, so we had the early access and then we played the open beta, and but they were good. They were a bit challenging, and they do become harder on the higher difficulties. I know this is another topic, but they were challenging, and like by the time you've done a couple of horde missions, like what their big enemies are. So yeah, especially when other teams are coming by, they'll see like the big frog or like the big floating ball of tissue that resembles gentleman parts.
And lady parts.
Everyone sort of chips in, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that can go back to map size as well as side missions, because if you only had one objective, it would make the map feel pretty empty if you just run through it to go do one specific thing, but it gives you an opportunity to go around and do other stuff in between. And obviously, like what we were doing, we'd always want to do as much side missions as we could first before we move on to the main ones, so we can spend as much time and do more stuff, rather than like some of the people that play it that literally just bolt straight to the main mission and start it up before you have a chance to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the side missions. I would like. I think my only like sort of request from the side missions, other than because you guys all made like pretty much what I was gonna say, is that I would just like maybe some more not grounded, but ones that feel like they make sense a bit more. Because like for example, like the Intel one, it didn't feel like I was actually getting Intel. I was just picking up boxes.
Like
Whereas I'd like. Yeah, I'd like something like, you've got to evac these civilians. You've got to maybe take them from like point A to point B because like this, like I don't know, something that actual soldiers would do. You know what I mean? Like protect
yeah,
especially
and
in
shit
a
like
fresh
that.
war zone where people
Yeah,
haven't had a chance to evacuate.
yeah. So I would like maybe something like that, or even I think you mentioned this before, but like challenges, like I said. So it's like assist two other teams or something
yeah.
like that. Stuff
Is
like
this
that.
Bishop squad? Assist Bishop squad in carrying a power generator, for example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then and this is something else I would like to see is that like when you're on the route to different areas, right? There's more sort of mid route challenges. You know what I mean? So let's say, for example, if one of you or two of you is in a certain area, it triggers off like 6 or 7 holes, and none of you it's to a point where you all have to come back and clear that area before you go to do your next secondary mission, for example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Just it makes it feel like a campaign mission more than, innit? As opposed
Mm,
to just going from point A to point B, defending the zone. Because that was like Judgment's biggest criticism, right? It had a lot of those defend this area objectives.
mm,
Well, I
Um,
started going down that sort of route with Gears 4 as well, with like fabricator
yeah,
missions, where like on the grind left where you're going down, you have to set up fortifications. And I get that you've got to hold your position, but it did feel too hordy for campaign in my eyes.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Even in the village, like early on. Yeah.
yeah.
Alright. Next up, environmental interaction. There's not really too much we can say about it other than like the zip lines and like climbing and
what
stuff like that.
yeah, I mean it's good that they're good like that in the maps, and I think this will flow on to like a suggestion of like having a quick travel zip line, so you
Like
don't have
across
to
the top of the
traverse so
map.
quickly. Yeah, I mean I suppose that negates the previous comment we said. It would be nice to have like battles in between routes on the way, but like it's one or the other. If you can't have battles, then a quicker way to like traverse would be good. But if you are going to put battles in between having to get to point A to B, then there's no point having zip lines, for example. But I mean, was there a specific environmental interaction that was a pro for one of you two that made
Well,
you put it on the
Trap
list?
was the one that came up with the idea for the list. It was cause, say like going ascending a zip line, and I think
Yeah,
that sort of thing. If there's a sense of urgency where you need to get somewhere, rather than have to run around a long way, you can literally just use that and get there quicker. That's what I feel like with a map that big and like the quick time events and stuff like that. It does definitely save time in a good way.
I mean, a tank could be pretty good. A tank on the map where you could
Center.
like get you to point A to B. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think you made a good point, and I think there's a way all of those things can work, right? Because if you do have encounters, and it starts to get to the point where, like, you're strapped for ammo, or there's a sense of urgency, then it could be that they're unlockable. So, for example, like, Dark Souls has a thing where, like, you can't go in one way, but when you're going around the long way, there's a secret way to, like, unlock a shortcut, basically. And then once that shortcut's unlocked, it means you can get from point A to point B quickly because you've already earned it by fighting through it once. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's also a way you could do it, like maybe it's class based. So, you were talking about if they added classes, and it would be pretty cool if you did have an engineer, but rather than repairing turrets and shit like that, he actually like fixes a zip line or something. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, now we've got this route available. I'm just spitballing.
Yeah, I get you.
Alright,
Alright, cool.
next
What's the
up,
next one?
assisting other teams with objectives. I feel like we've touched base on that briefly with
Mm.
someone like the encounters, but that is definitely like makes it more fun, like having rather than just the typical squad of 5 or 4, whatever, in past Gears games. Well, mainly 5 in the squad, but where you can just randomly encounter and come across other teams, and you can help them complete their side mission. So it makes it a bit easier and takes the load off a little, rather than
Yeah.
struggle.
And just like having specific maps for Horde, bringing in other teams into Horde is a great addition, and has potential if utilised. And again, comes to side missions if there are more, like you say, like at the minute your encounters is your own free will. You can choose if you go to help another team or not. But yeah, the potential is
Yeah,
at
that's the
specific
beauty
missions.
of not being restricted to a certain area.
I mean, Deep, because I know you play on console sort of exclusively, right? And this was something on PC I did try, and I think it happened once where I just went in the text chat and I said, I'm calling for reinforcements, like I'm asking for help, basically, right? And it only really happened one time where a squad came. So I think maybe that's like a social feature that needs to be in the game, where it's like you can call for aid, and maybe another team actually sees that notification, says, all right guys, look, they're actually calling for help, let's bail, let's go help them out. Like, because from your guys' perspective, if that came up on your screen, like Bishop squad's calling for aid, what are you doing?
Yeah, if like your mum's private parts 2069 says we need help, people are gonna like ignore that, right? But like if someone says private squad needs help, there's a bit more urgency
Well,
to
yeah,
it, and they
yeah.
feel like it's an objective. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed in the bottom corner of the screen, it did display things like Bishop Squad has started an invasion event, or like Bishop Squad's down to one squad member alive and stuff like that. It did have stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of people didn't pay attention to it.
No, they didn't, for sure. I'm thinking to myself, I do remember that happening, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, I didn't care.
I
Whereas
feel
it's
like
different.
it could be a good thing, like utilising the TACCOM, because obviously in past Gears games they've like used it as their like to follow their objectives. So you could go on it and you could have like a specific list, and it gives you details of like what other people are doing and if they need help and stuff like that.
Yeah. But again, I mean, maybe there needs to be like a limit or something, because then people get spammy, or maybe there needs to be rewards. So it's like, if you officially ask for aid, that team that comes to aid you can be awarded XP or
ammo.
Parts.
Yeah,
we'll come on to that in a minute, but like ammo, for example.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good one, Deep. I see. I know how you're gonna tie that in later. Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
That's it. Yeah.
Alright, the
Alright,
last of the
should move
pros
on.
is the modifiers.
Right.
So obviously this is we've seen both perspectives, the pros and cons. but I
Yeah.
like the idea of it because obviously it adds more difficulty and makes you more aware of like what's going on, and it doesn't just make the game feel like vanilla. It gives more of a reason to stay on your toes. That's what I like about the modifiers.
Especially if it changes, like with the difficulties and stuff. But if you play like Commander again, as long as it's a different modifiers that are being applied, it will keep it varied. But yeah, it's a good appliance. I mean, the modifiers in Gears have always been pretty good.
Yeah, they've always been like fairly like difficult
Robust.
and robust. Yeah.
What are the modifiers that we actually experienced in the beta? Because I can only think of two. That the others are kind of like fading out of my brain a bit.
Which two?
So the one was, I think, concussive blast locust. So when locust died, they dropped like a concussion grenade, and
Right.
the other was exploding wretches. So like you kill a wretch or a juvie, and then they blow up basically.
I remember seeing friendly fire was turned on.
Oh wow!
What else was it? Concussion grenadiers. So instead of grenades, they were throwing concussion grenades. Then it was obviously flame grenadiers. Sorry, so they were throwing flame grenades. There was another one where it was heavy weapons do more damage, other weapons do less.
Yeah. I see stuff like that.
There was another one where pistols do more damage and other weapons do less.
Okay.
That friendly fire one
So
makes
quite
more
a few.
sense now because I think I accidentally downed someone. I was thinking, what no one was shooting at him.
I noticed it. I noticed it. So in the room, like where you start off in that, I shot everybody loads of times to make sure they all knew friendly fire was on.
Alright,
Doing God's work.
that is pros.
That's it. Like
checked
leading
off.
the game.
On to the cons.
So the cons of
tying into
Horde
what you said
Siege.
for assisting other teams with potential objectives and rewards. The first one we've got is ammo placement, and our biggest gripe with it was that it was too convenient to get ammo when you're in a war zone. It's not like that. Like there's set places, yeah, of course, but it was like every time you see a centaur, you thought, oh, I can get ammo, or like supply stations. As even though there's a supply station usually near every mission, I feel like they should make the ammo a bit more scarce or cost more, so you can't just like refill everything. You can replenish.
Yeah.
But the ammo placement was too convenient. Like every time we did like a defend an area sort of objective, in between waves, it gives you the chance literally just to run and restock. I feel like
Sometimes during a wave, if you run out of ammo, you could go and get it, couldn't you?
Yeah, I was never worried about that. I mean, playing sniper as well. Like, yeah, I never ran out of bullets, man.
And I think this is something generally in PvE and PvP. Ammo isn't scarce enough. You know, the management of your ammunition should be quite critical. Like even in PvP,
But that's
it's
like even like playing campaign on Insane, like on any other game, it gives. Obviously, you get random ammo drops and like boxes set out in certain places, but I feel like if the ammo is more scarce in something like Horde Siege, it would make you encourage you even to pick up randomly dropped weapons rather than just sticking with a lancer all the time. So you kill an enemy,
That's
run
it.
out of ammo, pick up a hammer burst, use that, get more ammo.
or even encouraging to use executions. If you execute, then ammo gets dropped.
There is actually a perk on Breacher that does that.
There should be standard. You know, if there's no, let's say instead of the ammo crates that were fixed locations, what you could do is one way you could do it is like it'll be ammo drops and they're timed like every 5 minutes, for example, or every like 10-15 minutes or something like that, like a very sort of stringent timer. And apart from that, the only way you can get ammo is by scavenging.
Yeah, because you know, like with the perk drops where you have to go to that box and like claim it for like the perk drops or supply drop, they could implement that as like they could do an ammo drop version as well, where like, because every time you go to a supply drop or a perk drop, it was guarded by locusts, so they could do the same for ammo.
Team ammo drop, yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, I think that's a better way of doing it, yeah.
I mean, I think if we, because I mean, you mentioned there was something you mentioned there about like ammo pickups and stuff like that, and obviously using weapons off the floor. That's it. Encouraging people to pick up weapons off the floor. Well, the thing is, on higher difficulties, you're going to be relying on your build to carry you, and you know what I mean. Like as a sniper, I cannot get rid of my long shot, like or my breach shot or whatever it is that I've picked as my main weapon because my class is immediately underpowered when I pick up another weapon. Like, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think every class needs its own ammo economy that rewards its playstyle. So yeah, for Breacher, it makes sense that executions give you ammo, essentially pay you because you're in the enemy's face. Whereas for me, I would want something like, I mean, they've already got the thing where if you kill a pinged enemy from your drone, you get ammo, right? And it's the same. It should be for like headshots. I should get rewarded for getting headshots. You know what I mean? Stuff like
Yeah.
that. I
More
think that's the
If
kind
you
of
get if you get
ammo
90% headshots with your magazine, then you get an automatic refill of your ammunition for your sniper, for example.
exactly, yeah. So you know what I mean? Which means when I start playing bad and I start running out of bullets, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm actually gonna have to make a run for ammo, or I need to get ammo from somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Like suddenly it creates a nice organic sort of problem as opposed to just
Or like you've got one sniper bullet left. If you miss this, then you got no ammo left. If you hit it, then you're back in play.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
there's games that have done this as well. This isn't me reinventing the wheel. So, but I'll still say that like as much as we're talking about these things, I still enjoyed playing Siege. It's just yeah, I never had to worry about ammo. And
Yeah.
in Gears, you know, it's always let's look around for some ammo. You know, like, find some
Yeah.
ammo.
Definitely
Even
gonna add a
in
clip of that in.
Gears 5 Horde, you know, people would be fighting over ammo boxes.
Oh yeah, I mean, oh, that's a good point, Deep. Imagine if the ammo box was limited every round, so it was like there's only
Like-
2 refills max. So
Yeah.
it's literally like, yo, who
So you
needs
have to
ammo, bro?
strategize it, and rather than just be
Yeah.
selfish. Like with the stack of ammo, say like near the center, each time it just depletes, and then
Yeah.
after a certain amount of time it goes. Yeah, I like that. It's a good idea.
Yeah. But either way, what's the next topic? Because I feel like we've barked on about ammo.
So going back to what we said in pros, we've also put in cons, assisting other teams with objectives. I can't remember.
Yeah, so like,
I
I think that links into like one of the pros we were talking about the side missions basically. We hope there's more variety of missions, but like that, if you know, it would be good to have missions like we said before that you specifically interact with other teams, like help Bravo Squad extract or help them do this,
rather
or
than just by chance coming
or
across them.
or set up sniper positions and take out a high value target, for example, and it's a bit of a covert mission. Maybe you've got to wait for a couple of minutes for like a big thing to come out, and you need like 2 snipers to like take it out without like alerting the alarm. Otherwise, you're locked into like a 25 wave horde coming. You know what I mean, or something like that.
some severe punishment, bro.
On the
Yes, it's a
highway.
great punishment if you miss it. Yeah.
Deep just wants us to be depressed.
But that's what Gears should be. It should be
That's what
depressing.
Gears is, mate. Yeah.
I don't think there's too much else we can say unless you guys can think of anything on that.
I think we've nailed that point. We spoke about it earlier as well.
The next one we've put as cons, but it's understandable why, because it's only a beta, so we're limited, is repetitiveness. So
And I think adding to that, it links into the objective. If the objectives in the beta are all the type of objectives that you're going to have in the final game, it's going to get repetitive.
yeah, especially
I'm hoping.
across all maps, like every single side mission and main mission always in the same place. I feel like, well, main missions is a bit different because obviously with like side missions they have designated areas for like defuse the bomb and stuff like that. But I feel like even if they moved it around, so there was like maybe one game it has a certain amount of side missions, the next game they're slightly different and they're in different locations, to like change it up and make it each game feel completely different than the last.
No, that's valid. That's very valid.
Anything else?
No, I think I've said enough on that
Yeah,
sense.
so same now.
So the next 2 points we could probably link into one is dynamic weather and day and night cycle.
Yes.
So obviously,
Absolutely.
to make it feel more different, like a dark, gritty, rainy map rather than like just daylight constantly with no like weather effects. I feel like it could completely change the atmosphere and the way you approach certain things. Because of
Do you know what? Sorry, bro. You
so
just gave me a great idea. You know, like we mentioned interactivity before. There should be interactive executions in the map. Just like, because what you were just talking about there with it being gritty and everything, it made me think of Marcus like drowning a locust head in a bottle. I don't know why.
Yeah, so you could only do that. So that's another good thing. So now, like in the map where you've got sort of the middle area and it's all like crated out, and there's
Yeah,
usually like a basically when if it's like on a go on a cycle where it starts to rain and after like towards the end it starts filling up. Only then does it give you the option to drown your enemies in the
yeah, that would
water.
be so cool, man. Just like fucking
Yeah,
die.
yeah,
Yeah, and then just doing stuff like, I don't know, I just foresee stuff like if there's like abandoned cars on a bridge, you can like, like a callback to Gears 1 where you sit behind the car and you
push it
push it.
through.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, push it through. Yeah,
Yeah,
especially if it's at
exactly.
night time, because then hopefully, again, if they're bringing rain into it, they can bring the krill into it. And
Yeah,
if you're playing the map at night, then there's going to be a car there where you're going to have to go from one section to another.
or kind of like the power core, where
Twice.
like rather than
Yeah.
carry the power core, someone in your squad can carry something that's well lit up, so it like protects you, and it like
carry the flashlight.
it makes
Tom,
a
where's the
locust
fucking
target.
flashlight, Tom?
But yeah,
Or they could just make the power core brighter and it can encompass your squad.
well yeah,
Yeah.
and another thing to do with that car pushing mechanic, it can also like if you're in a very open space, if you could do stuff like that, you could give yourself cover.
Yep, give yourself cover, or even just like I was thinking, like pushing it into locusts, like or dropping it off a bridge and like crushing
In
people,
in
just
Push it
stuff
into
like
an
that.
e hole to block it
in
out.
like cover like Gears 2, like the tables, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I want to see more desperation because, like, when in the trailer, for example, right, we saw Marcus like fighting that locust and he's like
Mm.
smashing a telly on his head. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like
You
why
should
can't I
put
smash the
using
telly
your
on someone's head?
surroundings to like fend them
there's
off
a
because you
chair on
can't
the floor. You
access
should
your
be able to
gun.
throw it at them.
Yeah. I want to be desperate. I want to have no ammo and think, yeah, well, there's a telly over there. Just, you know what I
Like
mean?
Gears
Stuff like
5,
that.
the
So.
hybrids just grab a pipe and start smacking them.
Bro, I'm down for all of it. I mean, I get that it's not all easy to implement, and it can be a case of like we put something in the game, and in the time it took us to put that in the game, something else has been the quality of
Yeah.
something else has been forfeit. So I get it, and I'm still happy with what we got. But I dream.
We dream, and yeah,
Every
but I think that the weather system, the day and night, and having a real time weather system, I don't think is too much to ask because you get that in like racing games, and
Well, we've had
um,
it in
I,
Gears maps before, like Impact on Gears 4. You had normal Impact, and then like later down the line, they introduced Impact Dark, which completely changed how you approach the map and certain areas of it. And there was another one
Yeah,
like Reclaimed with Wind Flare Reclaimed, like that completely changes like where you go and how you play on that map.
yeah, but we didn't see it like transition in the game. That's the thing. It was like it loaded in night or it loaded in day sort of thing. Whereas we're talking about like the sun will actually go down, so you'll get sunrise,
Yeah,
sunset,
so it like
nighttime.
actually feels like you've been fighting for that long.
Yeah, man, and you can be like, it can even add it in the thing, like how many days you spent out in the field.
Was
You've been out in the field for 3 days, bro.
that's like in Gears lore. It's like what? How many hours is it? There's like I think there's like 32 hours in a day, and there's like they have 10-day weeks. And I see something recently where they actually have like and part of the Horde Siege
Calendar.
map. Yeah, they have the calendar, which I think I like little things like that because it actually like adds more to the lore.
Yeah, I seen that as well,
Reinforces
and it
it.
was a great addition.
Alright, we sidetracked again, but it doesn't matter. Modifier type we put in cons, and what I'm gonna say my issue with it was I felt like I was getting the same modifiers all the time. It's like what you said, Trap. I could probably only think of 2. I know it's just randomly like generated or applied to each game, but I feel like I didn't get to see them all, or I didn't notice them all.
No, I agree. I mean, I did notice them, but they were very repetitive. And again, I'm hoping that they've just scaled it back intentionally for the beta, and there are more modifiers in the game when it has released. So, but yeah.
Yeah, respectfully, it's not a modifier to have enemies throw weapons like incendiary grenades. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not a modifier to me, because that's just something I expect to be in the game. Like, people can throw those grenades at me.
It's like the one Deep said, the modifier where certain weapons do less damage and other ones do more. That makes you change the way you play. That sort of thing, I think, is like it does definitely change how you play each game, and it's
100%.
Even though there probably was some games where it was active and I didn't even realise.
Yeah. I mean, as a sniper, the exploding wretches was such a pain in the ass, because they rush me.
Yeah.
I smash their heads in, and then they blow up and I'm down, and it's just like, oh, bro, like what do you want from me?
All right.
I think a modifier would be something like. Like a random wave will just be like full of juvies, or a random wave will just be full of Theron guards, and it's like, oh shit, the Raver boomers. You know what I mean?
The bloody what are they called? The ones with the hooks. Forgot what they're called now.
One thing I want to add before with the cons, that as much as I like some of the boss enemies, like
I've got that on a list.
The Reavers were a little bit one-dimensional. Like, the first time they come down, you're like, oh shit, yeah, and then all of a sudden they start flying up on the wall, and then 2 minutes later they're dead. It's like they're intimidating for 1 second, and then that's it. And I just want them to be a bit more intimidating. They used to scare the shit out of me.
To go back to the encounters, though, I know it's a slightly off topic, well, sidetracking. I liked how, like, you just randomly see them fly in, land, drop off a few drones, and then fly off again. I like that sort of thing. That's like part of the encounter.
That is good, yeah. And it would be good, like, if 2 of them came in and one's covering the other one as they're dropping them off. And it would also be nice to see some helicopters dropping some cog soldiers off in the background. I think we always have mentioned this. It'd be good to have like AI in the background just doing its battle with other AI, so it just feels like a little bit more populated, and then there's other droppings coming in and shit.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah, because as it stands, we're like the only people there.
Yeah.
Next point, mission starting without rest of squad. That was probably one of the things that irritated us the most. I know it's not the game's fault, but it's like playing with randoms. A lot of the time, if we got a random on our team, they'd just run straight to the main objective, and if you wanted to do side objectives, you couldn't do them if they've activated it, because they can just run up to it and start it. And what our idea was to add like a voting system to it, so you need more than one person to agree to start something before you do start it, because then it gives you a chance to, like, because you could be in an encounter, they start it on their own and they constantly start dying, and then you run out of the timer and then you miss out on the main objective, fail it, or have to start it again. Whereas if you voted and do it when you all have the best opportunity to do so, it would make it experience.
Yeah, so either like at least 2 or 3 of you need to be in the ring to agree to it, or you designate a squad leader, and then the squad leader can like decide which ones to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things. It's a hard thing to get right, because you've got people playing with their mates, and then you've got people who are solo queuing, and you don't want to be like, I don't know, this might happen. Like, you're playing with 2 people who are in a stack. One random, and then there's you, and then like those 2 people are AFK or something like that, and now suddenly you can't start a mission. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, what's going on, sort of thing. And so it's a way of of just making sure that the game just rolls on no matter what. And I think definitely the voting is the way to go with it. The squad leader thing, it could get like, can you imagine how annoying it would be if like your squad leader has to leave for some reason, and now he can't reassign it or something, so it's like your horde match is over.
Pretty much, yeah. Unless it's kind of like Apex in a way, where you can relinquish it. But I suppose you can only do that when you're gliding down. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But network-wise, this is the thing. Like, it's easy to say that, right? But it's like network-wise, we don't know how the game's actually built and lobbying and stuff like that. Like, it might not even be possible for them to do that without serious work. Even though it sounds like such a simple thing, it's like, oh no, that's like a good month's worth of work, and you know.
I think this nails the point home again that Horde has a lot of potential either down the line or in this game.
Yeah,
definitely.
Alright. Extraction underwhelming. Scarce enemy spawns. There's not too much we can go into with this, but it doesn't. Obviously, I made the point when we first discussed this that obviously when you're in, you have to clear the extraction area for the King Raven to land, which is fair enough. And usually they only land when the area is clear, so it won't be as packed with enemies. But it would be pretty cool because obviously it's just a game mode that when you are getting extracted, like waves of enemies come as you're going, so it gives you plenty to kill rather than like 4 or 5 wretches in a grinder or something like that.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it ties into like having a more side missions or missions that actually force you to work with other teams. So, for example, you'd have a mission saying Bishop Squad is extracting, go and support their extraction. So like the enemies would keep going, and as you're going up, you see you see your fellow cogs battling, like a horde while you're supporting them with the Vulcan, and then they finish the wave off when you've gone.
Because it doesn't really feel like when you are being extracted, like why?
There's no sweat. There's no desperation.
What is the point of having 4 Vulcans on the King Raven if you can't use them all?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. It's crazy because this is the first time we've ever been able to use the guns on a Raven as well, right? Like, or am I tripping?
Well, in that regards, the only other time has been
when you fight right, yeah, because I was about to say, even when you're fighting the Lambent Brumac, you're just hanging out the Raven with the hammer, yeah. So you don't actually use the turrets. And in Gears 1, it's Cole and Baird on the turret helping you, but you don't use them. So yeah, it's just crazy. This is the first time we've been able to use it, and it's just so like, it's just chilled. Extracted is just very chilled experience in that game, like.
Because I feel like obviously with the difficulty, the higher it is, and like the different type of Horde Siege, like so from Blitz to Horde mode, it should get more and more hectic, which it does. But
yeah, I think that's a good point now, Ben. Because I do remember playing like on Commando, and like by the time you get to that point and you get to the end of the map,
you're kind of relieved.
You are relieved that it's over. So on the higher difficulties, yeah, it is sort of, you do get that, but there aren't any enemies left over. Again, you have to clean them all out, right? So you still have that same sort of feelings like, oh, I want to be on there and still mow enemies down as we're flying off and stuff.
Well, another point I made when we first spoke about this is that cinematic from that was showed at Unreal Fest, of where they're like, it starts off by showing Marcus running towards the Raven, and it's like in desperation he's got wretches chasing after him, and he's literally, as he jumps up to grab onto it, he's got one hanging off of him until it gets killed or knocked off, and then obviously you get all the Reavers and stuff like that flying in, grabbing hold of the Raven and stuff like that. If it felt like that, it'd be pretty cinematic each time.
Yeah, would you be open to like multiple extraction methods? So like, it's not necessarily always a King Raven. Maybe like you gotta get to the APC or something like that, and then you get driven out.
Yeah,
you would never know. It could potentially be a thing.
I
But
mean, it always happens. It's like, oh, extraction's too, like if you don't clear it in 2 minutes, extraction's too hot. Extraction's too hot. Make your way to extraction point B.
yeah, that'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool. And there's like a truck or like what you said, an APC waiting for you, and then you have to like get clear
I
that
mean, they could be
area.
really vicious. They could be really vicious with it, right? And like you just be forever looping because you just can't get out, right? You have a time limit to get to one. You can't clear it. It's too hot. Get to B. You can't clear that. You've got to go back to A.
I feel
Can't
like
clear that. You have to go back to B. They could be so ruthless, and you
I
have
don't
to
think I
stay in
failed
it
to
until you
extract.
get like Black Hawk Down style, trap.
Yeah. No, if you fail an extraction,
It
it
just
changes the
stops, doesn't
spot.
it?
It does change the spot.
Oh,
It
does
doesn't
it?
like respawn you in. No. If you die there, like the whole squad gets wiped. You'll respawn at that point, and it will
Yeah,
say
you
get to
can restart
extraction,
it.
and you'll go to another point though. It won't. So it's like that's already sort of in place. I'm just saying, yeah, it'd be sick if it wasn't always a Raven. So that meant that way it makes sense that yeah, you won't. It's not made for. You'll always have someone to gun down because in the APC there's no turrets, for example. Do you know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
just getting driven out or whatever. So
But
that would
that's
make it.
one thing I noticed as well. When you've extracted, like, I remember one time I was playing with Deep and Dylan. Some of us managed to get to the Raven and get on it in time, and Deep was literally just like a few seconds out. Was that you, Trap? I can't remember. But and literally rather than we extracted, and because we extracted it, the person left behind, it literally just ended the game for him. I feel like with the different stages, so the first opportunity you get is hit Raven extraction. If you miss that, you get like a truck or APC, and then if you miss that, you just have to stay in the game and survive until everyone else is gone. I feel like that would like, I know it might drag on a bit, but that could be.
No, but it would be punishing. It would make you think twice about how you do stuff and that.
And
You're
it,
like, I don't want to
yeah,
be left behind. Don't want to be left behind.
and
And
if you get to that sort of stage, like it increases the enemy spawn. So when you're surviving, you like
I think the
get
theme
overrun.
is desperation and consequences for actions. It shows the huge potential, but they can implement things already that would make it so that there is a real sense of desperation and dread.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, because I'm not entirely sure if I understood what you meant. You're saying basically if you don't extract with your team, you're stuck in the map while they go back to the lobby. Basically, that's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, get like
Yeah, no, I like that.
because
I like that.
it could just give you even not until everyone else is gone, but it could just make you like where you are, just spawn loads of enemies and you have to try and
And,
survive.
and
If you do,
and you could extract with another team if another team is willing to give up their spot.
or you just rob
Or
it.
yeah, no, but I mean, because I'm just thinking about Space Marine 2, for example. In their siege mode, how it works is you do it in like 5 wave stages, and after every 5 waves, you can either choose to go back with your rewards or you can stay on. And if like someone bails, for example, it's just because it's like squads of 3, and those 2 people left can carry on as a 2. They won't get a random to join them, so. It was a big problem because
Well, you know
would
what
have,
though? They would have to fill the spot, so they'd have to backfill it. So let's say one person gets left behind, there 3 people are searching for Horde. They would like jump them straight in with him, and then they'll start that round as he starts from fresh. And the same with 2 fail, then 2 will jump in, and they'll start from fresh again.
But
Because
with
they'd
that, you
always
might
want to
have the
feel.
issue of people joining in. They want to start from the beginning, and they'd be like, "Oh, we don't want to help this
But,
guy
technic-
finish
but,
his
te-
game."
but technically, it would be because the other guy wouldn't be able to start a mission until like a lobby of people came in, spawned in on him, and that's the beginning. For
I
him,
think
it'll be
this is
round 2.
why
For everyone, it'll be round 1.
this is the issue. This is it, and this is why they haven't done it because it's too
We're
much.
sidetracking anyway. We're sidetracking with wishful thinking, innit?
Yeah.
So the last, well, I added another one whilst we were talking, but we can quickly go across that. This next one won't take long. It's marking side
Yeah, go on, man.
missions and doesn't stay active. This is for Horde Siege specific. I know we've got another one we can go across, but like, if I know it doesn't matter too much, but one of my issues, if you said like you marked a side mission, you're playing with people you're not partied up with, and you want to go and do it to like kind of show them you want to do it, it literally stays marked if you're, say, like 150 meters away for like 10 seconds, and it slowly disappears and you have to remark it. I feel like it would be a good addition to mark it and for it to stay active as long as until you like unmark it basically on the map.
Yeah, I think this is a known bug, or a lot of people have noticed this and said this. So, and it's the same with marking. When you mark an enemy, it takes you ages to mark the particular
Yeah, you have to be
enemy
very
itself.
precise.
Yeah. So there are some little tweaks and bugs I think they already know about
That's the
that,
whole
which
point
carries
of
over
why
into
we're doing
PvP.
things like this.
Yeah.
Feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I was gonna say, as a person who was playing the beta with a bit of stick drift, yeah, that was my biggest problem, bro. Opening the map, because I had stick drift, I couldn't even. It was not easy to mark something on the map. So, more time, I just got to the point where I just didn't do it. I was playing with you guys, and I was like, nah, one of them will mark it, because bro, like I opened the map and my fucking analog going all over the place. So, that to only have it there for 10 seconds was not worth it. I'd just be like. Yeah, someone mark an objective.
Okay, should we go into ideas? Which we've pretty much covered anyway, but
Yeah,
I'll
we have,
include
yeah.
option to patrol map in King Raven. So like we said, side mission, so you can provide support. I don't know if they'd be able to do that, but I think that would be pretty cool. And the other one is random ammo spawn, make it feel more of a fight for survival. We've already gone over that in detail, so I feel like we don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, next on the list, weapons. Pros, cons, we haven't got any ideas, and there's not really too much for this one. So the first one's new weapons as a pro. So obviously we have the gut puncher. Is it the Brigger or Striga? I always get that mixed up. The pistol, you know, the burst one.
It's the Striga. It's the Striga, yeah.
Did you actually have a go at that? I never come across it.
Well,
I
at
did.
first I see it, and then I see an enemy drop it, and I went to go pick it up because I wanted to try all the new ones out, and then it just despawned. But I remember we went into another game, Trap got one, and then we eventually found another enemy with it, and I tried it. I don't know how I feel about it, but it's pretty cool to see like a Locust pistol other than a Gorgon. And
Or
obviously
what's the other one? The three
incinerator.
burst one. Is that the Gorgon? Is it? Is that what it's called? The three burst
Yeah.
one. Cantus. The
Yeah.
Cantus have. Yeah.
Yeah, but then they don't forget they changed it from being burst to being full auto because it was garbage, and the Striga is right back in the same place. It's just kind of garbage.
I think you can only carry max 12 bullets or 12 rounds for that, and I think it does deal more damage than what the Gorgon did, which makes it a bit different. But I didn't use it enough to get a proper opinion of it.
Weapons generally did despawn very quickly in Horde.
But yeah, new weapons. So gut puncher, love it now that I know how to use it with manual mode. I actually prefer it to the drop shot, which is what I compare it to. Incinerator.
I would like 2 less rounds in the gut puncher, personally.
I feel like 4 is enough.
When you get 8, don't you?
Well, it depends.
Like rounds, not magazine rounds.
Well, I feel like for Horde it can be beneficial, but versus.
Oh yeah, sorry, we're thinking about Horde, innit? Yeah, no, Horde's fine.
No,
Horde's fine.
this is just in general. This section we've gone past Horde Siege. But yeah, just in general, I think the gut punch is a good weapon. I like that it has an auto mode, so it's kind of like a Bushka, where you shoot it and it explodes on its own time, or you can do it in manual mode, which is controlling it like the drop shot.
And trigger people, yeah.
I definitely prefer it to the boom shot.
Yeah.
Oh, what, the heavy boom shot? The new heavy boom shot, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Yeah.
I like that you like all the new. Just even what's that weapon called? That with the hook? I forgot what it's called.
No, the heavy boom shot was good, but I'm on about the normal.
Is that what the name of the weapon was, or was that the name of the enemy holding?
I think the enemy, yeah. But I mean, to be fair, I still call the Mulcher the grinder. So.
And obviously the incinerator.
I like it when I have it.
Mixed with overkill, or just Ember mixed with the sword off. That's what I compare it to, because obviously you have to charge it up and it deals damage from close range. But But overall, I think obviously the gut punch is in the lore already, and this is the first time we've seen it, and I'm pretty sure the Incinerate and Sugar's new.
What's the machine gun that the Locusts use?
Hammerburst.
The Ripper.
Oh, Ripper, yeah.
The Ripper.
Completely
Yeah,
forgot
that's
about that.
good.
That's
That's good.
like the first implementation of like an LMG to Gears as well.
Yeah.
Like, what's it? Like a Type 95 from Call of Duty. What I can compare
Yeah.
it to.
It's a little bit similar to the one in Gears 5, where the longer you hold it down, it was more of a rifle,
Claw.
but this is more of an SMG. Yeah, but the same principle, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
It
saying
is-
that, the
it's
Claw was an
basically the Claw.
LMG, wasn't it? If you think about it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Too bad it just anything that's
It wasn't great.
mid. That's the truth. The
But
swarm
this
mid.
feels better. And this feels good, and it could do with a bit more ammunition in the magazine. But yeah, it's good.
We haven't talked about the retro. How do you feel about the retro Lancer in this game?
It feels like a power weapon again. Like,
Yeah.
obviously in Gears 3 it
Like
was
Gears
a
3.
loadout gun.
Mm.
But Gears 4 and 5, it's more of a power weapon, wasn't it? So, and no pickup. But I feel like it's the same. Not the exact same, but reminds me of Gears 5 of how it's used.
Yeah, I mean, it's the main purpose of it's the number one gun in this game, so it's gonna have it's gonna be usable for quite a lot of stuff. Where in other games it was really unusable unless you were close up, but you can sort of use it at distance.
I never used it.
Like single shot is very good, but
Gears 3,
I
felt
like it.
No damage whatsoever, and the recoil on it was too mad. But I suppose you just control it.
But in this game, I like it, and it's good that it's on the map as a power weapon. You know, both teams have the chance to use it in PvE. In Horde, it's nice being able to use a rifle that you can just keep your finger on, or you can just tap it for a couple of headshots from mid distance. Yeah, I like it as it is. I think it's in a good place.
Okay, cool. Have we talked about mods, like weapon mods and attachments and stuff like that?
That's next up after weapons.
Ah, okay, cool. Yeah.
So the next on
think-
pros list is reload.
Well, if weapons, we were going over any existing weapons though. Do we all want to talk about the Lasher? How we feel about that?
That's
Maybe the
what's next up
pistol,
on it.
the Lancer.
So
I love the snub.
well, but this is pros, isn't it? I know why you're saying that, Deep.
What?
Bringing
What?
up the Lancer, talking about it.
Yeah.
It had a buff and it didn't need to, but we'll get to that. Next up on the list is the reload mechanic on the Nasher. I think overall
I'm fine with it.
it's a lot better in terms of it loads each shell at a time rather than the whole clip. And obviously if you're in a fight and you need to shoot whilst you're reloading it, you can literally just shoot it rather than have to wait for the whole mag or clip to be loaded in.
But this is a but. Overall, it takes longer to reload anyway.
That's the only
if you
funds
think
we've
about-
got for the weapons so far on the list.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like the reload, but it never took long to reload the Nasher anyway. That's if you just think about it, how long do you think the Nasher takes to reload? To get if you're going for a perfect,
Couple seconds, not even that.
it's about one, bro.
Yeah.
1.5, something like that. I don't know, but either way, now it takes significantly longer.
But the Nasher should take longer than the Lancer to reload, right?
Because you're loading individual shells rather than a
Shots.
whole mag,
Yeah.
which I get.
It
I feel like
should.
they
It should.
Tweak it a little bit for verses though, but I feel like people would complain. But at the same time, we've always had a quick reload, so
I would be down with it ever so slightly, maybe
not too fast.
a quarter of a second faster, maybe. Yeah, maybe half a second faster. But I'm happy with the magazine. capacity. I'm happy with the new mechanic, like the cancelling of it. I think that's the balance of having a small magazine and being able to cancel is instead of having a higher magazine. I like that. I don't think they should change it. Um, but I do find a Nasher in Horde is absolutely piss poor. It doesn't really do anything.
I feel like it because it's that open. You don't really find yourself in too many close
Even
encounter
close up though,
situations.
even close up with enemies, you know,
situations.
like regardless of like what level you are, if you got the Nasher like in good range, you should be able to like just like give any enemy at any difficulty close range and with an active especially. And you can't do that in Horde. And yeah, just generally speaking, the Nash is just weak in Horde, in my opinion. Even with the perks.
Yeah.
It's crazy because has Nasher ever been really good in Horde? Like, or am I tripping? Like, it's always been like, I've always wanted a long shot or a talk bow, you know?
The Dash has done the job in Horde. It has done the job in Horde. I mean, I played a little bit against 5 before the beta came out, and you could get in enemies and like 2-shot actives, you know, or good close range shot, they'll go down. But,
Okay.
yeah, the Nash, it's like you want. I know you don't want it to do damage from distance, but you know when you're out of ammo, when they're all on top of you, you need a weapon that's just going to obliterate anything in front of you, don't you?
Yeah,
And
you
that's
do.
and that's the good old Ganasha.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I've always liked the long shot, because to me it's like, I know it's kind of like clutch or whatever, but if you've got a long shot and they rush you, you just pop them in the head and that's it, they're dead. Do you know what I mean? And it's like with the Nasher, it was always a case of like I need to shoot him like 2-3 times, and that's, bro, ain't nobody got time for that in Horde when you're about to die.
Anybody got time for that?
Nobody got time for that.
Everybody got time for that. Alright, moving on to weapon mods. Pros. First one, more weapon versatility.
Expand.
So in terms of, it gives you more incentive to use other guns than rather than the Lancer and like Horde, so you can obviously mod it to do different things and improve its use. And also it gives you a chance to do different weapon builds.
Yeah, it doesn't essentially box in weapons into a specific category, and obviously, I think when I had this point in mind, I was thinking about how, you know, the Nasher can have like a bayonet attachment.
Yeah.
So, you know, now the Nasher has the bayonet charge, right? It's not just a case of you just do more melee damage. It actually has the charge. So, it's nice. You know, it's a pro at the end of the day. It doesn't hurt the game.
No.
It's not exactly sliced bread either, but it's a nice addition.
Deep.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah, so that going into what Trap just said as well, the other pro we put, I'm sure there's plenty more, but just like off the cuff sort of like list making, ability to use certain mods for fun purposes. So obviously putting a bayonet on the Nasher.
Yeah, 100%. I imagine challenges will come as well, where stuff like that, like, takes advantage of it. Like, I don't know, get 100 kills with a no-scoped weapon or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, now it makes sense to take the scope off your long shot, or yeah, get 50 bayonet charges, stuff like that. It means you don't just have to use a retro lancer, you know. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's one of the cons, or the only con we've put, is removing the scope from the long shot takes up a slot for weapon mods. So even though you're taking off an attachment, it takes up a slot, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's got to be a bug, man. They've got to do it where it's like by default it has the standard long shot scope, but if you want no scope, you can just toggle it off or something. I don't know. I don't know if it should be a mod slot. You know, it's like saying the Nasher. I don't fucking know. don't know. The Lancer not having a chainsaw. Sorry, yeah, there you go. You know what I mean? That's not an attachment for the Lancer at the end of the day.
It's default built in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's probably more of a bug.
And then move to ideas. So a chap came up with this. Well, didn't invent the idea, but for Gears it was.
Yeah, I did. I invented the fucking idea, mate. What are you talking about?
For Gears.
I invented the English language,
It's
mate.
like your example, Ghost Recon, like Wildlands or Breakpoint, when you have a weapon and you like have mods that you can physically see where they go onto it, and then like with the description of what it does and stuff like that, an exploded view of the weapon, making it more clear and what the mod's purpose is for that specific weapon.
Yeah. I'm a game developer studio's worst nightmare, because I'm that artist that keeps saying, what if we did this? What if we did that? It's like, mate, we can't release the game. Yeah, but what if? Wouldn't it be cool if? But no, to expand on that, that really came about as me not realizing that the mods on the weapons were like attachments specifically on the gun. So it was like, yeah, you had a mod slot for your barrel, you had a mod slot for your stock. I didn't actually realize that because the UI had it as a list, and it just I just didn't realize what it was doing like straight away. And it kind of reminded me of what Deep said before a while ago, which was that this Gears E-Day, it doesn't feel visually distinct from Gears 5. The UI, the fonts, everything else, it feels very much like Gears 5. And I just think, if we want this game to feel really unique and stuff, it needs to feel different. It needs to do a few things different like that as well, with how it presents information.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like that. I'd like a custom Lancer as well, man. You can imagine it's like, your Lancer's like got an extended mag, and it, that little clip at the bottom where the magazine the Lancer holds the magazine. Like, it has that little clip underneath it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine if, like, well, because you've put an extended magazine, that part's just been snapped off and you've just got like a drum mag just like stuffed in there. I don't know, stuff like that is cool at the end of the day. So there's always mods, lads.
I feel like we should move on. Classes next. So the pro we put as perks. So obviously each individual class has its own perk. So Assault, what was it specifically? Dealt more damage with like something. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll add it in unless you guys know. But obviously Breacher has perks. Like, sorry, yeah, I thought of it now. Like different things that make each class different and benefit in different ways. So obviously Assault, you could kill someone by chainsawing them and they drop ammo, like what you said with the sniper. You mark them with your drone and kill them, you get ammo back for that. That sort of thing. And just to in general make each class have a different reason for playing, rather than just like one does more damage with specific weapons.
Yeah, no, 100%. It should reflect, or at least encourage, a certain play style and then reward that play style. Like I said, sniping's all about headshots at the end of the day. So,
and same with the medic. Like, there wasn't much reward for maybe I didn't notice, but like for going out and reviving people and reviving other squad members. I'm not sure if it gave you more energy or it gave you more health or resistance or something. But I mean, it would be good, maybe like with the medic. The more people you revive, the more resilient you get. So like by the end of the horde, you're just like one big tank, and you could just stay alive for so long. For example, maybe.
Yeah, no, that would be sick. Yeah, effectively meaning that you benefit from your squad playing shit.
Yeah. Well, not just that. Just going out your way to like revive other teams. That maybe give you double. For example, you know what I mean? So, if your squad's okay for a minute, you say, right, I'm going on a mission, you're okay. You know what I mean? Just little things like that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, no, I like that. Definitely.
But I like the weapon parts. I like that's a good addition and a good way to balance it out. But yeah, maybe, again, because it's the beta, a lot of the stuff's been left behind, so we'll get more versatility when the game comes out and when they start releasing the rest of it each quarter.
Also, put as cons as well, it doesn't change the experience much. Like, I know it does in little ways, but like it doesn't impact you massively if you play a different class or if you all play the same class. So obviously, like certain, like Gears 4, I can think of. If everyone played a soldier, like you're obviously going to struggle more because you don't have an engineer.
I feel like with Gears 4 and 5 though, I get what you're saying, but realistically, you're not winning if without an engineer.
Yeah, and that's the Achilles heel to that Horde. It was specifically built. You needed an engineer or someone to control it, and it worked very well when you're in comms and you're in a stack and you're working together and stuff. Or for diehards, but for casual players, if you're just in a lobby of casual players, it's very difficult. But I mean, I would like to see an additional class, someone who benefits from buying armaments and like being able to like deploy multiple versions of them and things that I would like an engineer class. But it's not inherent. It's not that you need an engineer. It just adds a bit more defensive capability.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's about what his role is, right? There's nothing. I'm not like you said. Like we're not hating on the engineer. We're just hating how he was detrimental to success. To the point if you didn't have one, like bro, you got no turrets. You can't repair barriers. If you get a berserker or even just a brumat come through and destroy everything, like bro, it's just over. Like you're so done. Yeah, I mean, whereas realistically, everyone should be an engineer. I mean, I know you could all buy the repair tool, but that the repair tool was a scam if you weren't an engineer. Like it would just your credit
charge you stupid amount.
Yeah, so it was just a point of like, okay, no engineer, no fortifications. It's not even really Horde at this point without fortifications. And I think that's probably the biggest thing missing from Siege mode. I mean, I know we'll cover that at some point or whatever, but the lack of fortifications was a bit.
And that's why I would like heavy enemies to bring back like the shields and stuff. Then you can at least do the Gears 2 thing, and then everyone could pick up shields and like have a little bit of an area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, next ideas. Make specific mods for specific classes to make it like. So obviously, I feel like certain things it's like that already, but maybe for like sniper, only as a sniper can you mod the long shot and stuff like that to make it.
Yeah.
If you want to use a long shot, it makes you play as a sniper, stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
But yeah.
Because I feel like I said earlier, right? If I'm a sniper, if I use anything other than the long shot, I'm at a disadvantage. But I don't want my friend to not be able to pick up my gun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I die, and you're like, shit, I've got no gun, I'm gonna pick up Trap's gun. Yeah, I don't want it to be like, oh nah, mate, you're not a sniper. You can't pick my gun up. Die. Just die, bro. But maybe, I don't know, the attachments don't work or one attachment fails. So it's like, yeah, you can have my gun, but you won't ever get it at its fullest potential or something. I don't know.
Or you get to see what it is, and then it's like, oh, a little bit. What's this weapon? What perks you got on that? And then you go away and you put them perks on your gun and you think, oh, yeah, this is a good setup, and that becomes the meta for a while.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point as well, man.
Allow the other one we had, which I think is a good one. Allow certain privileges for classes, e.g. Judgment Scout had access to sniper towers and no one else could get in them, so it makes more incentive for a sniper to set up somewhere rather than obviously having to worry about things sneaking up on them in certain areas. And it's not even like you could like just sit in one spot the entire time because you'll have to move anyway.
It's definitely a shout because, yeah, as a sniper, I was very exposed a lot of the time, and I felt like because you couldn't really fortify, right? Like I couldn't create like 3 areas to watch. It was always a case of like I'd be sniping and then someone comes up behind me or a wretch comes up behind me. Like I need to be able to kind of box myself in a little bit and have like maybe a way to escape. But
Yeah.
As it was kind of just like I'll snipe for a bit and then like, oh look, a wretch is up my ass. Oh look, he exploded. Oh, I got no health. Oh, another wretch up my ass. And melee wasn't that smooth either. Like, did
I,
either of
I,
you
I,
play with sniper rifle like that?
yeah, I did have a few rounds with a sniper rifle, but I mean, just coming back onto what you were saying there, I think that would work quite well with like team objectives. So when you say, okay, we need a sniper squad in the tower, one sniper from each squad rendezvous at this position and support this high value target, for example. And you'd have like brawlers. You need to penetrate this area for your medics to come and revive, like I don't know, or whatever. You can incorporate that with the team challenges, I reckon.
That's a good. That's a good point. Yeah, as long as the game has a way of recognizing, oh look, there's multiple snipers on the field. This spawn this secondary objective or side objective or something like that. Like that would be the logic
Yeah.
behind that. Have we covered traps, like just in general? Like we talked about that because
No.
I know we've talked about fortifications, but I would like to be able to set up some damn traps.
Yeah. Obviously, we have like the spike stuff and stuff like that, but like actual ones, I agree.
Well, like yeah, for example, like we had laser wire at one point in Horde, right, which was kind of like a trap because if the enemy went into it, they got set on fire. It didn't just slow them down, And this is still early days in the war, so there should be more sci-fi shit like available. So, I mean, again, I know.
I suppose the idea of E-Day is that it's all of a sudden. So the locusts were a little bit rushed to get together and go up, and the Sarah was like just handed down peace, and they didn't expect it. So it's just like everyone was ill prepared, basically.
I think my counter argument to that is that in whatever time it took for them to, because in the campaign, from what I've seen, is they're all in their clothes, and then Ty cuts someone in half with a chainsaw, and then like what looks like a few days later, they've got a prototype of the Lancer, mass produced somehow. So in that time that everyone's been able to put a chainsaw on their Lancer, they should be able to get some damn supplies down. That's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough, yeah, it's fantasy, mate. Yeah, it's reality, yeah, bring in your traps. Let's go for it.
Should we move on?
Yeah. Happy to move on.
Go for it.
Next is versus. We didn't put too much because obviously there's not too, obviously with certain weapons and stuff like that. But we've gone through weapons, so we're gonna leave that for now. But it's pretty fun. I had no qualms with it. Like I'm
Sliding.
I loved it.
Sliding. That's all I'm gonna say. Sliding.
But I feel like it was pretty fun for only being able to play 2 game modes and 2 maps.
No, it was definitely fun. I had fun. I just think the sliding is kind of gonna become like meta. That's all.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good time with Versus. It definitely kept that Gears feel in whatever way you want to look at it. I do feel that the sliding is quite egregious, and yeah, I know they're not going to take out the game. It is what it is. The jumping, I was on board with it. I'm still a little bit skeptical. It's not really what Gears was meant to be, but again, I understand the game needs to evolve. So adapt or fly. I'm going to play the game. It is what it is. I think with Versus, it's just like my issues with Versus is just the basic sort of matchmaking and the basic glitches and the bugs in the game with like stuff that should be bread and butter to these guys, like general aim assist or matchmaking on the right servers, or not allowing stacks in ranked, for example. What else? I mean, again, there are a lot of good things. I like that they brought the ranking system out. Maybe it's a little bit generous, I don't know, but at least the ranking system is on the right path. Social was a lot of fun. I had so much fun playing social. more so than any other Gears game. Most Gears games is just like usually about playing ranks, but I play so much social in this, and it was fun. I'm not too calmed about the number of maps because it's a beta, but definitely there was one which was great, which was Market. Definitely got sort of checkout vibes. Nice, well balanced map, not too big, not too small. Perfect for four. But then on the other map, it's a little bit bigger. You could have 5 people on there. So, but that one really plays on the verticality, the sort of the higher levels,
I
basically.
know what you mean, yeah.
I feel like you
Um,
have to play on different gateways to grow to that map a bit more.
but it did remind me of a Battlefield map. So again, it's this the sliding and the look of Call of Duty or Battlefield. It's sort of like these things don't really belong in Gears, but
I feel
yeah,
like
it is
Outpost
what it
would
is.
work better on that new demolition mode they've got.
Probably does, mate. Yeah, fair enough. It probably does.
The only
Um,
other issue I had with Versus is Conquest games felt too quick.
I think Trap made a good point as well, which I didn't really clock into, is that you can't cap the area. One of you's got to stay in the area,
Yeah.
and it can make it quite hard to defend.
Because
But
if
then
you're
maybe
left or
that's like
right,
that's the idea, maybe to make it a bit more accessible when people are playing it in
because a lot of the time
in,
when things like King of the Hill, people would cap it and just like set up somewhere to stop you from getting anywhere near it. Whereas if you've got to stay in the zone, you're very limited to do that.
Well, one of
Yeah.
you is, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Someone's got to stay in the zone, whereas like someone else, if they just bug out first, they're like sort of get that free pass because it's like, well, if I'm the last one there, if I leave, we're not winning. So
And again, when you're playing in the stack, it's going to be impossible. I've seen it so many times.
yeah,
Should we move on?
yeah.
So I feel like we covered maps including that, so we'll leave that out, even though that's after the next two subtitles. So the next one we've got is gameplay, and the first pro is new environment maneuverability. So obviously being able to climb, slide, different sprinting, crawling under different covers, dropping down like Judgment. I know it's not exactly new in that regard, but I feel like that it's good if certain people camp somewhere, they've got to be on their toes all the time, and you can get around the map a lot quicker as well, which I like, especially if your team's down and you need to, or anything like hordes, you can get places quicker. Versus you can get to an objective quicker from spawning in. Say like you've literally got a few seconds to clutch it. That few seconds extra from being able to get across the map and climbing, maneuvering in different areas will benefit people in the future, and it changes the way the game will play as well.
Absolutely, it does change the way the game plays, and that is a good benefit of it. And on the counter side of it, it just you got another access, sort of another dimension to be wary of. Basically, you're not just looking left to right, looking up. Well, you're not looking left, right, and behind you. You're also looking above as well, right?
Yeah. You got anything to add, Trap?
I'm just thinking about it, and I do like all of the added maneuverability. I do think, however, if I recall some of our previous discussions, some of us experienced some really wacky sort of movement that really took them out of the Gears universe. I mean, I think Deep, you said something about on Market, someone was able to like do like a weird triangle, basically like hopping along the roofs like Spider-Man, like just
Yeah.
and it's kind of just like, it's one of those things where
Don't want to see gears flying above my head like that, like Mario. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. It's that, and it's I don't want to trade one type of sweatiness for another. We always said that people's problem with wall bouncing was it looked goofy, and it was just like, oh, there's people who are so good at it that I can't get on board with this sort of thing, and it pushed people away. And now we're basically replacing that with jumping around and sliding, doing really crazy like there's a finesse to these sort of things. Like in Halo, there was grenade jumping. So you threw a grenade, jumped, and then the grenade blast would, if you did it right, would
Carry
send
you,
you,
yeah.
send you flying higher. And it was a skill thing because it was not easy to throw a grenade at your feet, time the jump, and not just kill yourself. So, but for the people that could do it, it was like they could do some crazy stuff.
Touch loose, yeah.
Yeah, whereas this is like it's really accessible. Some people are not going to do it well, but if they don't do it well, it's like not that bad. At least in Halo, they died. You know what I mean? Whereas this, it's like you're just going to see people flying around. It's going to look goofy, and it's like, mate, Gears is about a more grounded, gritty feel. So I want the movement to, I want the developer's vision to be realized, which was, yeah, you can climb and slide and stuff, but you can't spam it.
Yeah. And all they would need to do is just make those distances a little bit further apart, I reckon. But it's the tight spaces, or maybe it was the intention. But one thing I do like about the movement and stuff is just like how you get into cover. You're not sliding into cover; you're sort of running into cover now. And I do like it, especially when you're moving from one to the other.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit there is some underlying mechanical clunkiness or delays that need to be addressed and stuff. But I do like the movement in general, and if it's refined and stuff. It was fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I'll give it that. It's one of those things where it definitely feels better than it looks. Like if you watch gameplay, you might think, what the hell is this? Like, but when you play it, it don't feel like that. I will admit.
Just like Gears 1, when you watch it, you think, what's this? And then you play it, you think, oh shit.
Yeah.
And I think it will take time for us to adjust. Like I said, we played from the early beta, and I was sort of playing it like Gears and having fun, and trying to play as I normally did, and it was all right. But when I had a bit of a break and I came back, my last sort of day or two on it, I sort of honed in and just sort of it just clicked. I just sort of the vision clicked, and I thought, okay, I get it now. Get it now. But then, how does that hold up against these players who are just going to do insane movement? And how is that going to, like domes and Vexies and Icy? I mean, it was Icy who I saw did that triangle jump.
Oh, right, there you go.
Get me? Yeah.
We got some shit with them. Yeah, they will.
Alright, next.
At the end of the day, it is what it is.
New ping mark system. So obviously we've always been able to mark enemies, but this time we can actually ping specific things. So I can see the plus and downside to it, but on a pro point of view, it's good to be able to mark specific areas rather than like only enemies. So you can, if you're trying to get someone's attention or mark a specific thing, because obviously we've always been able to mark weapons on the floor, ammo, enemies, that sort of thing. But like if we want to direct and go a specific way, we can ping that now, and there's another way of like informing teammates that you necessarily don't have the ability to physically speak to.
I think my only gripe new marking system is I need like a wider hitbox on like marking like enemies personally.
Yeah.
I just feel like I have to be so specific. Sometimes it's just like I'll end up just pinging a wall, and then I'll end it. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's one of those things where I'm more focused on trying to land a ping than land a shot.
Yeah,
and it's
you
like
end up getting killed because you've taken too long. Yeah, that's obviously what we included in the cons as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a bug because of the beta, but I'm sure with plenty of feedback, they'll fix that and improve it.
Oh, for sure.
It'll be nice if you had a different tag for off marking. So if you're not marking a person or an item, then you got a different marker on it. So it will say like near here, or he's here, or shoot here. You can choose whatever you want on there, for example.
Yeah, Rainbow Six has a really good ping system in that sense, where like you can literally say like this room is clear, by just aiming, pointing, and just be like, yeah, room clear or whatever. And
but in all honesty, though, I can't really see the point of it in Gears.
No.
Can at
I'm just saying that
Siege.
it's an example of it working. I mean that my
Yeah, no, not that example. I mean, just generally the new marking system where you can mark like 60 meters or whatever. I don't really think I can't, does it need to be in gears, or what uses it for gears beyond those things we talked about?
I think if you add this one little bit that I'm about to suggest, it would be helpful for like asking for help. So, for example, like if you have your pings are numbered or maybe color coordinated or something. So, for example, like my ping is different to your ping deep, right? So,
Yeah,
if I'm like, bro, I need some help, and you say, where are you? And I just ping the ground where I'm at, and you're like, you see the green ping pop up, and you're like, oh, okay, that's Trap's ping. He's there. Let's go.
yeah, okay.
Then it's helpful. But otherwise, mate, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
What's it doing?
Alternatively, everyone could carry like an emergency flare. So, like,
Yeah,
when you go down, you drop green smoke. Where are you? Green smoke, bro.
Flares.
I think you can ping your tags in it. You know when you die, if you're like
Yeah, when you die, you can ping to that. Yeah.
you can ping your tags. So similar system like that, really, innit?
Mm.
Yeah.
Sidetrack a little bit because of the flares and like green smoke. With the new e-holes, I noticed when I was being silly and jumping across them that it's not just a ominous glow coming out of it. Like the locusts have used it to like direct them. I think that's what it might explain it. But there's like red flares sticking out on the inside of them, so that's what's kind of like giving it that red glow. I like that little touch because I definitely think it's the best that e-holes have looked
Yeah.
out of all the games. Like obviously you had like that weird like smoky like sort of fume thing coming out of the previous
The black
games.
ink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like black or greenish.
It's the Cantus ink though, isn't it? It's the
Yeah.
same thing as shooting ink grenades.
Yeah, shit, I need to think before I speak.
Well, I think they mentioned that on the reveal, didn't they? That they're focused on making things very visible with color. So the e-holes are very bright with the color that it comes out. With like the enemies in Horde, like the frog, you've got the big green bit in his throat. They make it very sort of clear where
Well,
where
even
to go and what to do.
yeah, like that's part of the pros as well. I know it's not a major thing, but the ability, like, it's quite a tanky enemy.
Oh, here we go. Here we
If
fucking
you
go.
put a well-placed nade in its mouth, you can kill it instantly. I love that. Honestly, I see a clip
Yeah.
earlier where someone torpedoed inside a e-hole and a bile frog was coming out of it, and it just went flying and just died. I love
It
that.
is pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Makes you think about what you're doing and make you want to be more precise rather than just rushing to kill it and then missing, which I did plenty of times. But yeah,
Cause you trash, bro.
should we go into the cons? We're getting close to the end of the list now.
Thank God.
Exactly, guys don't shit the fuck up, do they?
You giving me more editing to do, you fucking dick. Anyway, cons, transitioning from sprinting. So obviously it just feels like, I feel like the only issue I had with it was mainly at the start of playing. I got used to it after a while. It was like when you want to stop, it takes a little bit of time to, but I suppose if you reflect that on real life, you can't instantly stop.
Yeah, but in a game, it's just
It could
it's one of those things where like
life or death.
janky movement just ain't the bro. If you ever die in a game because of movement, like inefficiencies, it's just triggering.
Yeah.
I think this just comes on to the general thing of the delays in the movement and the intended jankiness to try and slow it down. I think that's where it's coming from. And I have seen on some of the videos when people have been playing legacy controls,
Mm.
the delay on stopping to earn is absolutely huge.
Well, that's the reason. Like, I could not get used to that. I've always been like a legacy control scheme player, like always the original way. But with the new sprint system, it feels like with how much A's relied on legacy, it it just feels so much better to use LS, obviously like the Call of Duty and other games sprinting mode, because it frees that up. So if I'm sprinting, I can toggle it with LS. I suppose you could do it with A, but if you tap it, you're gonna roll, aren't you? So toggle it with LS. You can sprint. You want to slide, tap A. You want to roll. Obviously, tap A.
I personally was using modern alternative, so that worked out okay for me.
Yeah, it's I suppose it's each their own, everyone's preference.
But yeah, the transitioning from sprinting, there are some issues with it.
Another one we picked up was the FOV slider was not available, but I'm sure it will be. And usually it isn't for console.
So the thing about a beta, right, is technically a beta is feature complete. Now, just game development talk here, a beta is feature complete. In other words, everything that's actually supposed to be in the game is in the game.
Is in the game.
Yeah, it just may not.
Pretty much their final product.
It is. This is the final product. Like, we're not going to get massive changes. So, no FOV sliders. And I get it. I know all the complications that come with it, but I'm just saying
it's not the end of the world, is it really?
Like, one way around it though.
I've really used it in Gears 5, and that's since I got my PC, and it's usually only available for PC anyway. So,
one way is around it. I saw someone on YouTube and they were playing on ultra wide, and it looked really good.
Yeah, it for a lot of people, I've got friends for sure. You know, they don't like motion blur, they don't like too much camera shake, and they need FOV sliders because all of those things added together, like, you just get massive headaches, man. Because on a PC, the screen's a lot closer. And when there's a lot of chaos, I mean, you saw the chaos in Horde mode. Sometimes you got a Reaver shooting at you. There's a couple of heavy boomers and stuff like that. You're diving around, and it's just.
You need it in PvP as well.
No, you do. In PvP, you're sweating and you're trying to have all that situational awareness. And I just think sometimes when everything's so close, it's I need my FOV slider to just. Do you know what I mean?
But I agree. It should be a standard. It should be a standard in these sort of games.
Yeah, well, definitely on PC anyway. I mean, because I had the benefit of playing on PC, keyboard and mouse and controller for the beta, and when I was playing Horde mode with you guys, like I said, I had stick drift a bit, but I still preferred to play with a bit of stick drift and be that close to the screen, which was telling me something,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and the next one we've got is Kicking Ticker's buggy, but that's been noted and plenty of people have reported that, so we don't really need to go into it. I'm pretty sure they patched it anyway towards the end.
Thank God.
And then into ideas, we've got first one's bring back Vault combat system. So obviously vaulting over cover, kicking them, and the person receiving the kick can deflect it if they time it well enough. And also it just adds to that, because I feel like one thing I noticed in Verse or PvP even, when someone vaults over you or you vault over someone, the person usually on the receiving end, you do get a little bit stunned, but whoever's getting vaulted onto is usually at an advantage because they can shoot you before you have a chance to land and shoot.
Yeah. But, I mean, I agree with you. One would also argue, well, you're probably stupid for going over cover when someone's on the other side.
Yeah, but they could.
No, I get you. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Some kind of advantage should be given to the person who is. Well, I don't know, because I feel like this game doesn't really lend itself to being defensive or you're holding positions. I think it lends itself to being able to just rush around corners and shoot people through cover. So I would like to see whoever is defending having more of the advantage than the person who's attacking even. So I think in that situation, then I think if you're going over cover and someone's there, and you knock him forward, he's still got the advantage because you're still in transition. He's still on the ground.
Oh shit, boys! I've got to start recording.
Still.
Have you got anything to add to the bring back Vault combat system trap?
Only that this game has taken away a lot of things that obviously we're used to. Things like wall tagging, meat shields, and now like the vault system as well. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Gears 5 vault system with the whole like I can kick you, but then you can do the counter thing. I felt like it was just a bit annoying, to be honest. But I do think that because what I don't like was how before with vault covering, if someone was behind cover and you vaulted over, if they had a lancer, they could just hold B, chainsaw, and kill you just before you landed. So I think the vault system needs to come back. I think there's like a middle ground.
Yeah.
I would say there's a middle ground to be found for sure. I don't think yanking should be a thing though. I thought yanking was just fucking annoying.
It was annoying when it happened to you, but it was funny when you did it to someone else.
No, because more time whenever I did it, they just hit counter and then I just blasted them in the face, and it was just like
you either commit or go over, or you put your hand over and get your hand shot off.
Yeah.
Next, I'm pretty sure I was the one that added this, but it's the ability to shoot whilst falling or jumping off. I've heard different things, but every time I've tried it, like while you're jumping off or falling from certain places, you couldn't shoot at the same time. I get if you did it just before or after, you can, but I didn't experience it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd like, if you're like dropping down, I'm pretty sure you could. I can't remember if you could do it on Judgment or not, but
if it's not a feature, it would be nice for it to be a feature.
yeah. Okay.
Do you really want that though? Like, do you really want someone to be able to dive off a cliff with a boom shot, shoot down, and kill everyone in the hill?
Well,
you're already.
On the cliff already, then they'd still be able to do it. Either way, the difference is they're more of a martyr.
What's the difference? Yeah. What's the difference between pulling the trigger when you're at the top, falling, or on the floor?
I suppose there isn't much of a difference, except the only fact is if someone has to stand there and shoot it, if there's a sniper on the map, someone can just smash them in the head, and then that's it. Whereas now it's like you can just
you got to think about it. Yeah, you got to think about it. You might not be expecting them to come down and shoot you in midair, but
it's just worth thinking about, isn't it? In the day.
I think you can do it. I'm pretty sure I saw someone do it.
Or maybe
was it Nick Merckx? Is it Nick?
I don't know. I might have to look into that. But
anyway.
Onto servers. I don't think we have to do too much in this.
Nah, they said it was going to be an issue before the beta, but still, it's a bread and butter thing, right? By now,
it's just like with anything, it didn't disconnect as much as expected, and it was seamless. If someone left, it didn't affect the rest of the people in the game. And the cons were, the majority of the time, even though the majority of us are EU in the servers, would still get put in East Coast or like North American servers and stuff like that. And the ping when we was in EU wasn't the greatest all the time. But at the end of the day, it's just part of the beta. It's bound to happen. So it's not something to go too much into or get stressed about.
I mean, yeah. Again, in the full game, it would be nice for you to have the ability to move to the servers if you wish to. Yeah. And it would be nice to have more information about the pings of those servers. I mean, you can put it up while you're playing the game, but just like in the matchmaking menus.
Yeah. Next section is maps, but we've already gone through that enough. I don't think we need to anymore. And then just a quick one. I wanted to include it. I don't know if you guys want to add anything, but the character models. Obviously, we've got new characters, but the thing I wanted to highlight, especially for the beta, and it's good. You're passionate about it if you add lore into like small things like details of character skins. So obviously each character has a base description, about them. But with that Mags Carter Blast Survivor skin or whatever it's called, it had a different lore to her but normal skin. And I hope, well, just based on that, all skins added in the future are going to have their own different laws and like based on what they look like and different type of armor and stuff like that, and from where they wore that specific armor and clothing. So I like that.
Just expanded lore, basically, innit? Because it's
Yeah.
like an excuse for them to like write more, as opposed to just flooding us with like a book per
Yeah.
character model. Yeah,
Which
definitely.
I think is good, especially in a game like Gears.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Are we gonna cover the
Gears of
ranking
lore.
system?
How much do we know about the ranking system?
Well, we know that the old type of ranking system's returned, so what my biggest issue was with the Gears 5 one, I'm pretty sure it started out with the original one with like different ranks, but then it changed, so I might be wrong. There was like brackets or something of certain things, like master, and then it changed the leaderboard so you could play it. And literally, the more and more you play it, you're gonna go up the leaderboard, even if you play good or bad. Whereas before, you could play solo in a squad to improve your rank and stuff like that. Leaderboard, there was people. Every time I play Gears 5, I'd get people on my team that would be around the same position on the leaderboard, but because they've played it more, and even though they weren't considerably good, it affected me because I'd always get put on a team with them and play against a stack of people that are actually good at the game on that leaderboard sort of bracket.
I know what you mean, yeah.
But I like that it's returning to the old one. It's good. And 5 placement matches is plenty to determine a rank, I reckon. But other than that, there's not too much to say about ranking.
Yeah, I kind of reserve judgment for like the full release, you know.
It's very difficult. Well, TCs seem to have found it very difficult to do skill-based matchmaking.
Yeah.
They're bringing back to the old style. We'll see when it's in full effect. So
we can say for now. And that is everything. Deep, would you like to do the outro?
well, thank you everyone for taking the time and listening. We do like to sidetrack and talk our little ideas, but we're just fans of the series. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, again, put a like down, make a comment, and maybe we'll do some more.
And don't forget to subscribe because there's plenty more to come.
See you in the next one.
Peace. I was waiting for Trap to say something.
I didn't want to overdo it. I feel like it was handled pretty well. I was just like, nah, I don't need to chime in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've spoken enough.